The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
I like my green with crystals like Folgers, picking up momentum, rolling like boulders. They call me ice, but I'm really much colder. My rhymes is heavy like the weight on my shoulders. I'm spitting that red hot smoldering lava. I fight to the end like the Navajo. Crack a bottle though, make it the goose with cranberry and triple sec. Triple my check, I feel the ripple effect of a fool on the loose. I hit you from every angle, from obtuse to right. Street shit like JJ, I'm dynamite. Slide me some dough, I show you an execution in the flesh, and promise not to leave nothing left. If you bomb it, I keep stabbing, shooting, damaging, looting, till it ain't no disputing who the greatest is. Da 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 da. What's up, party people? I'ma hit that note one of these days. Thanks for joining Mike Robertson Blvd. Man, it's the last Tuesday in February, Black History Month. I got a nice, good, special show for you today, party people. We're going to talk about some good stuff. We're going to talk about some smart stuff. We're going to talk about some funny stuff. I know you're already saying, I already know these things. But yes, that's how we're going to do this. Now, as you know, I've been really focusing on talking about some things this month that are real important to our people because we literally created everything. So I wanted to make sure people knew that this month, which is why I went over irrigation, I went over the wheel, I went over fire. We created fire, people. First people to ever harness some fire, man. It was us. Don't get it twisted. So today we're going to talk about some more levels to the game for you party people. Now, back by popular demand, my main man from Hotepish to keep one stepish ahead of the game. Give it up to my man Dwann B.
What's up, man? You good, Mike?
What up, bro?
Thanks for having me back.
Man, I know,
fun
man.
to be
I
back.
miss you, dog. What's happening?
Man, been busy as hell. I like that shirt though, because it has like all the LA teams.
Man,
in each letter. I noticed it on the camera. I noticed when I was looking at you. When I was looking at the camera, I was like, hold on, that's Lakers and Dodgers.
Right.
Okay,
Sweet, huh?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, my man Jeff made that, man. Laced me up with that. Yeah, man. So I'm happy to have you, bro. I've been missing you, man.
Yes, sir. This is fun.
Man, you got Hotepish cracking, man. How's that going?
That's going good, man. It looks like the website is finally going to be online this week. And I've been saying that shit. But no, what happened was a web designer went to China on some good business. You know what I mean? He got, on the last minute trip, he was in China for like 3 weeks. And then on the way back home, I'm like, okay, the website going to be up.
Right.
And he was quarantined because of that coronavirus shit.
Damn. Was he?
Yeah. So it's like, man, it's like my website been like over a month now.
Man.
And it ain't even his fault. Ain't nobody's fault other than people with coronavirus.
Oh, so he's stuck over there?
No, he back now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he back now. So now I just got to do the finishing touches.
You better work with that nigga virtually and shit. I wouldn't go to the crib or nothing. Have him over at the house.
And I ain't worried about no damn coronavirus.
Man, please.
They said 70,000 cases in China. Billion people. That's like 0.00000%. I ain't worried about that shit.
Man, that's 1% that I don't need, goddamn it.
I'm worried about the LAPD, goddamn it.
I'm worried about a 12-pack of Corona, man.
Hey, yes.
Getting me into some serious trouble.
Yes.
Oh, man, hilarious, man. Well, dude, glad to have you back, man.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about, I only got a few trending items to talk about today. And then I'm going to tell this story about how I received the key to the city of Tuskegee.
I want to hear that.
It was so special, man. God.
How does nigga get a key?
And look, yesterday marked 20 years since they made February 24th Michael Robertson Day.
Man.
Boy, don't play with it. Stay with it. All right.
So we're going to do that. And then Dwann and I have 5 books that we have chosen a piece. We got this 5-book challenge of 5 books that changed your life. Were a great influence to you. What are they, man? We're going to go through our 5 books. I got 5. He got 5. We're going to go. You ready? Let's do it. Now, first thing I want to talk about, man, did you watch or attend the Kobe funeral?
No, I didn't watch or attend because I was just like, I'm done crying and thinking about this.
Man.
I saw almost every game that man played and listened to almost every interview when he was alive.
Right.
I didn't want to hear none of that sad shit. But I did see Shaq's part and I did see Michael Jordan's part. You know what I mean? I saw that on YouTube, but that was about it.
Right, man. Yeah, I couldn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it. It wasn't on some, I can't watch it. I didn't even want to watch it, man, because I feel like it's been a media memorial happening for the whole month,
Yeah.
And every video, every picture, every memory being shared, all these things being shared, man, it just seems like it's been happening,
Yeah.
So I was cool with not watching or attending or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now I saw Michael Jordan's. That was pretty good, man.
That was cool.
He already stepped out there and said, "Look, man, I know I'm gonna be a gang of memes."
Yep. You know they coming.
All this crying, it's gonna be a gang of memes.
Internet's
so I gave
ruthless.
him respect for that right there because he knew it was coming. And then I saw a little bit of Vanessa's, man. I didn't want to know what she was saying. I just wanted to see her sentiment. Mm-hmm. And just how she was and her energy and stuff. So once I peeped that for about a minute or two, I tuned out.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Rest in peace to Kobe, man. He's a bad
The greatest of all time, according to Dwann Brown. I've been saying that for years.
Oh, man. You have been saying that for years.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming around since death, seeing him highlights. I didn't know he did that. Yeah, because you spent his whole career saying he wasn't Michael Jordan instead of appreciating what he is.
Whole career,
like a lot of people just missed out on all. And it's happening right now. People are missing out on James Harden's greatness because they saying he ain't LeBron. Like, dude, just let these cats play. They only gonna play for a short amount of time.
Right.
Enjoy them for who they are on the court, not for who they're not. And enjoy the game. That way, when they die, you don't be sitting around talking about something. I didn't know he was that nice. I believed everything Skip Bayless taught me.
I didn't need to watch.
No more of that shit.
All right, man. So anyway, rest in peace of Kobe. I didn't attend. You didn't attend. We still some, Kobe enthusiasts.
Yes.
To the fullest. Rest in peace, bro. Okay, so next up, I want to talk about me receiving the key to the city of Tuskegee, Alabama. Boy. And let me tell you, when it happened, I didn't know it was gonna happen. Right? They like surprised me. So basically,
whose decision was this?
I'm about to tell you. So I was doing some stuff with some black colleges, right? I had 10 black colleges that I was working with, right? I was working with their marketing departments. So I was helping them like the new thing at the time was street teams. It had kind of got introduced by Loud Records, and people were slow to get on board with it. But I understood it, right? So I used that. So basically, I was teaching that to these schools, right? The marketing departments. They were identifying, their best top students and stuff. Got them scholarships. I participated in homecomings and everything. It was great, right? Doing little panel discussions, and they come and ask questions. It was cool. So I did this at 10 schools, right? And that's including Morehouse, Howard, Morgan State, Tennessee State, North Carolina, A&T. Who am I missing? About 3 more, right? It was 10 of them. So in Tuskegee, though, which literally was the last school, right? They saw the vision really more than everybody else at the time. Tuskegee saw the vision. And so they had set it out, man, and they had promoted and they had their people. We had a packed house in there. We had people from the industry and everything on the panels. We were, educating them, about, health products, all this stuff, right? donating money to the school, donating money to students, and they appreciated it. So I'm there like I am at all the schools, right?
Yeah.
Standing there, they got the little press conference cracking right there. And then all of a sudden, the lady was reading this paper, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you know, hey, that's what they do, you know. I'm over there sipping on some. She was reading and she was like, and then that's why we want to thank the illustrious Michael Robertson for his contributions, blah, 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 blah. And we shall name this day Michael Robertson Day in Tuskegee, Alabama. And I was like, what the fuck? And look, that's my key right there, man. And that's the whole letter. And that's signed by like the mayor and whoever else. So it was a trip, man. And I was sitting there like, wow, man. I just totally like, you know, crumbled, and my toughness crumbled. I was just like, oh, wow, this is special, man. I never even thought I would get some kind of thing like this. Like y'all didn't really care, you know?
I got a question. What do you do with the key to the city? Do you get in like all the banks and brothels?
Let me tell. Oh, if you about that life. Yes. Look, here's the cold part of the game, right? That very question, right? Mm-hmm. What does it do for you, right? Yeah. It was a congresswoman there, right? Black local congresswoman. She came up to me, man, and she said, look, this could be a big deal or it could be a little deal. It's all on you. You decide how big of a deal this is. She said, it ain't on us. So basically she said it like, the key to the city is, well, what do you bring? You
gonna come back and bring some more money?
Yeah.
You brought money last year. You gonna bring some money this year? Then you can keep your key.
Man, you know I haven't been back.
You ain't been back?
No, I haven't been back.
See, man, I go back with that key and like at least take it to the Sizzler or the Waffle House and be like, hey, y'all got key to the city discounts?
Wait, they don't have all that, man. It's super small, bro.
I mean, well, they got a Waffle House in that motherfucker.
No, they don't.
They don't?
I mean, maybe they do now or something. But when I was there,
it's in Tuskegee, right?
Yeah, and then they have one little. I think they had a Burger King. And that was it.
Well, go to that Burger King. You be like, let me get a half off a Whopper because I got a key to the city.
See how it gets me?
Yeah.
Man, don't be a hater, man. Hey, man, I'm a king in that city, man.
That's what I'm saying. Use it. You got to go back and use that shit, man.
I know, like, I have the key.
See, if I was you, I'd get that a picture of that key right there imprinted on a T-shirt, on a white tee or a black tee, and I'd be walking through Tuskegee with my chest out. Like, this is the key to the city, bitch.
Have you heard of me?
The police officers come over, be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm pissing on the sidewalk because the bathrooms is closed. I got the key to the city, officer. And see what that do.
That give you the key to the cell. That shit don't work. Shit don't work on the cell now. You know that now. All right, man. That's my Tuskegee story, man. Key to the city. I've been told I don't toot my own horn enough. So that's why I bust that out because yesterday was the 20th anniversary of it. And I just thought about it like, damn, I haven't even been back to Tuskegee. Anyway, love y'all.
Yeah, Mike, you got some interesting ass stories, man.
Thank you, Dwann.
You need to tell more of these stories. Like, who would have thought Mike had the key to the city? That means one or two things. Either Mike is hella interesting, which he is, or that city sucks like a motherfucker.
Key to the city. Okay, let's take the first one. Hey, dude, I did meet a Tuskegee airman.
That's what's up, yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years ago, man. Okay. My son's friend's great-grandfather's a Tuskegee airman. Yeah. One of the last ones, or the last one.
Man, a lot of great things come out to Tuskegee.
He's a cold cat.
A lot of American experiments in that motherfucker too. But yeah, you know, that's another story.
Another time. All right, man. So look, what we talking about today? Dwann Brown and myself are doing a book challenge of the 5 books that inspire us or changed our lives the most, or not the most, but just 5 books that have changed our lives and inspired us. And we got them right here on the table, and we about to go through them, y'all. And we're going to have this discussion about how they affect us. How about that?
Got you.
Dwann, why don't you go first? I'll give you the floor on your first book.
First book I'm going to go with is The ISIS Papers.
Ooh, The ISIS Papers.
Yes. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Matter of fact, I have a book club on Facebook, the Hotep-ish Book Club. And it's for people who want to get in and who want to read more stuff. And we breaking this book down right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, give us the skinny on it.
Man, I like the ISIS papers because it was written in 1994, but when you go and read it and then read it again, this is my second time reading it, when you see things happening in front of us, it just makes this book more real every time. Like a lot of the racial matters. What this book is about is basically Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She went to Germany as just fresh out of college to study racism at its root, and then spent years and years compiling notes. And then she had her Cress theory. Then she put all of her theories together in this book, talking about, you know, why racism exists and the fundamental root cause of it and what we need to do to counter it. And everything that I've applied in this book has absolutely worked.
Really?
Absolutely worked as far as, you know, seeing life as a chessboard. Because, you know, you watch the news, you wonder why the black guy gets covered this way. Like anytime a black person does something halfway wrong, he got to go on the apology tour. Snoop was apologizing for some in-house shit to the world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they side of the game don't have to apologize for shit. You know what I mean? Like, why is this? Right. Why do these things exist? And this book really helped break that down. So it's really changed my life. And through application of it, it's helped me be more aware and watch myself socially when it comes to dealing with matters of race and racism.
That's great, man. I actually read the ISIS papers too, man. It's high on my list. It's on my mentionables list because it just breaks it down. And like, to me, what it did is it showed me the nuances of the shit that's going on beneath the surface, you know? And
it broke down that scene on Boomerang. They got that scene out this book.
Oh, yeah.
The pool table scene on Boomerang where it's talking about the earth. When Martin, it sounded like he's joking,
that's
like the
true.
earth and the black ball. Uh-huh. That came out this book.
Yeah, that is true.
And how the game, and sports being an allegory. Yeah, football, you got the yellow goal post. With the brown ball going through it, mm-hmm. Big brown balls, little white balls, mm-hmm. the gun, the pistol, mm-hmm. and it been, you know, basically how you want to know why gun control ain't going nowhere. Read this book,
right?
It's identity and we don't see, because we as black people, we're such a natural loving people. We're humane people, regardless of how we're covered. We don't see people in terms of, I want to wipe you off the planet because my genes are going to die out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And it may sound crazy, but then when you confirm it by how they talk, it's like, God damn.
It's confirmed, huh?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Damn. Well, that shit really affected me in the same way because even though I was up on the idea and the concepts of the hierarchies and like you said, going back as far as Germany and all that shit, I didn't really have it broken down in my mm-hmm. mind like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay. My first book, man, right now, I'm going to talk about why should white guys have all the fun? Mm-hmm. This is a book about Reginald Lewis, first black billionaire. And he was a black billionaire that came from nothing.
Hold that up again? You look like the dad on Sister, don't he?
He does. But that's really him. He does, man. He looks like he should be on a commercial or something. Reginald Lewis, though, is his name, man. And the reason I chose this book as one of mine is because it really showed me that this guy had all the odds against him. I mean, just starting with just being black, but just growing up as a black boy and everything. And he worked really hard and stayed really focused. And that's what I drew from this book at the time, where I understood that, hey, you know what? There's all kinds of obstacles out there that's ahead of us. And they're all in our way. And they're designed to be in our way. But if you're smart and you stay ahead of the game and you work hard and focus, you can still do whatever you want to do. And that's what he lived for. So he did shit just like, you know, he was big into the early get up in the morning early thing too. Mm-hmm. You know, where he breaks down getting up 2 hours earlier than everybody gives you a whole another month and a half in the year. When you count the hours, mm-hmm. gives you a whole another month and a half, you know, if you get up early. shit like that, man, you know? And he was in the top echelon classes of this and that and this and that. And when it came down to it, man, it was just his sharpness and his ability to stay ahead of everybody that got him to this level. So that's why I wanted to check that out. I mean, share this story, man. You guys check this out again, man. It's Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? First Black Billionaire right there. Bam.
That's a good one. I like that. I might have to read that.
What you got up next?
Quick honorable mention to Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson. It will be here, but I could not find a copy of it. That's probably the most important book to me.
Really?
But I couldn't find my copy. Black Labor, White Wealth.
Oh, okay.
By Dr. Claude Anderson.
Wow.
And, you know, it breaks down the position. But since that book isn't here, I'm gonna go with what we have here. But get that book, Black Labor, White Wealth. I'm gonna go with The Alchemist. I just read this book 2 weeks ago. I read it twice.
No shit.
Yeah, I read it once on Saturday and again on Sunday.
Dang.
The whole book. It was that good. And I liked it because, it's basically talks about the journey of life, and life. And throughout the journey, we have all these many obstacles that we have. And in those obstacles, we learn things about ourselves and about life.
Right. And
how we should use those obstacles as we continue to push forward in life.
Right.
Because what happens in life, people generally, it talks about the difference between living your dreams and talking and dreaming about your dreams.
Right.
Some people, what keeps them alive is the one day maybe I'll get.
Right.
In this book, they're saying to Mecca. One day I'll get there, but in the meantime, I'm going to keep working, and that dream keeps them alive. And really, or you can say, okay, I'm going to get there. And, he leaves. And I like it because there's a lot of history in this. If you know your history, it's a lot of good shit up in here,
Yeah.
But it's not teaching you history, but it's set up, in Moorish Spain, back when the Moors controlled Spain. The Moors are like hella dark people, darker than me. When they controlled Spain, it's set up then, him leaving Spain and then going across the northern Sahara to Egypt during the time the Ottoman Empire was invading North Africa, because it talks about wars in this book and them having to stop at these oases and stuff like that. But if you know what was going on back then, that's when the Ottoman Empire was invading North Africa, and that's when North Africa turned like as light as it is right now.
Right.
During this time.
Right.
But he talks about how, he went and he got stuck in a city because he got robbed as soon as he got to that city. You know what I mean? And him being 2 hours away from home, still a long way from his destination, but at least 2 hours closer. You know what I mean? Do I go back or do I keep pushing? Right. You know what I mean? And then it teaches you how to use your gut. Your gut, is there for you. We all know. But we be getting in our head a lot of the times, and our head gets us off the path when our gut be knowing every time.
Your gut, see, the thing about your gut is the true you. Yeah. The gut is the one that really knows. Yes. When you manage your gut instead of your gut managing you, is chances. Yep. You're taking chances. Your gut is in control, bro. Yep. It's not a fake thing like, it's scary in there, like, motherfucker, he sees.
I'm really tall, and your highest self is up there, and it sees way further than you can see. Right. You know what I mean? The baby don't have to learn how to be a baby and come here knowing. We come here knowing, Yeah. We come here with it knowing. And this book teaches us that. It teaches us also that we can have everything we want and still pursue our goals. If there's a woman in your life or somebody like that, if they for you, they going to be there for you and let you go on your journey to reach your fullest self, because it's the only way you're going to be the best person for them. You know what I mean?
It's so the only way.
Yeah, you can't let relationships and things like that be excuses. You know what I mean? You have that book.
Right. Okay.
That's why I say I recommend you read this book for people who are on that path to self-development and being your greatest self. And we all have these goals we want to meet, but we hit these brick walls and they be like, fuck. This book really puts a lot of that stuff in perspective, and it gives you tools on how to push through that shit in a great story form.
Dope, man. Yeah. Hella dope.
Yes.
All right, next up for me, man. This might be my most important book. that I've read in my life, I would say. And this is the autobiography of Malcolm X. See how thick that is? Small and thick, little words. Autobiography of Malcolm X, y'all, was serious business. Let me tell you why it was important to me.
Okay.
This book showed me the idea of someone being in the depths of hell. Rising out of the depths of hell and getting his act together and becoming a leader and becoming even more than a leader because he created a way of living to be admired to this day. To go from Malcolm X being Malcolm Little, a numbers runner, a dope dealer, a fighter, a stabber, just a regular hustler in the street that you would walk by and wouldn't even want to mess with this guy. Got his act together, man, and became who he is, Malcolm X, man. It was to me, it was like eye-opening that told me that, look, man, first of all, my hell, where my depths of hell is, don't match where his depths of hell was. Right? So I'm not even starting that far behind the 8 ball. I'm not starting that. I'm not getting the message in a prison while I'm on drugs and going through withdrawals and shit. That's how he got his message. So it just taught me that, look, man, sky's the limit, man. Life is out there and you can be something and change and grow and improve and do something special, man. And it just really told me that, man. That's
what's up. And Malcolm X is the greatest. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a lot of that, you know, you got Alex Haley, he wrote it. Alex Haley, you know, so it's a few things in that book that, you know, that stand out, you know. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. And it was like, it was also like, you know, going through this thing with him learning how to read. He didn't know how to read, functioning in life. He was, you know, got a wife, started a family, you know, and was standing on principles, man, to the death.
Malcolm X was a principal. He was principled. Yeah. Have you seen the documentary?
Yeah.
It's good because it's coming out. You know,
I'm not all the way satisfied with that documentary though.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why. When they talk about this, when he got murdered, right, in the ballroom, they talk about this guy, but it was 9 FBI agents in the building. What were they doing there?
Dick Gregory's been saying for years it was an extra rafter cutout, and a lot of the shots that killed him came from the top down, not from bottom up.
Yeah, the angle, huh?
The angle was top down, and Dick Gregory. A lot of this stuff, like people will always call people. Some people will call Dick Gregory a crack or whatever, a conspiracy theorist, because he's saying this stuff before the mainstream media picks it up. You know what I mean? And also, if you go on YouTube and look up Professor James Smalls, did a breakdown on this. I don't know if y'all know who Professor James Smalls is, but he met Malcolm, and he's the person that took over Malcolm's mosque after Malcolm passed away.
Okay.
And he was Malcolm's his sister's bodyguard for 18 through the FOI for 18 years. And so he has a perspective on Malcolm that few people have in the whole situation. And if you look it up, if you just type in Professor James Smalls Malcolm X on YouTube, he has some really good interviews breaking down that documentary. And a lot of concerns that you talking about right here, how they leaving so much out.
Yeah, they leaving so much out, and they were satisfied with painting the picture they painted.
Yeah,
which was, hey, it's this guy, and he's free. He did it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, why we got FBI agents, 9 of them in the building? They all acknowledge. What are they even there for? You got 9, really? Not just 1.
9.
You got 9. So was there 10? Was there 12? Was there 14? And then, how does the dude get to ride, man? He's free.
Yeah.
He's free.
And here's the thing. Then you had that one smug ass officer. I was at the bar and I saw that Malcolm X was dead, and I called into the station, and you know, that one officer just was arrogant and smug. Man. And then after the brother died, they had a party in the ball that same night.
Right. What about that?
Come on, man. Like nowadays, if you can get hit by a goddamn truck in L.A., that tent gonna be there for 17 hours. They're gonna have all kinds of angles and shit and cameras out there with, you know.
Right.
This motherfucker, the greatest man of all time, died, and they having dance on this grave 6 hours later.
Crazy, man. It's just an untold story there.
Yeah,
bro.
man.
I didn't accept that documentary like it told the whole thing. It was insightful.
That's how I look at all these stuff. It's insightful, but you're not telling me the whole story.
Yeah.
Because if it my mind is if it's going through anything mainstream, it's going to be a twist. It's not going to be the whole truth. It's going to be a bunch of half truths. So you take what you take from it and move on.
Yeah. You just can't say there's 9 FBI's in the house and leave that alone. That's all I'm saying. That deserves its own episode. All right, man. What's your next one?
Another book that didn't bring that deserves honorable mention is Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, Black History Month. I recommend every black person read Miseducation of the Negro. That sets your mind frame because we've been so misinformed. When you start to really learn about your history, you think you've been lied to. And Malcolm X talked about that.
Right.
But if you read Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, you'll understand how your brain got formulated to think so against your race as the way you do. This book here is The First Americans Were Africans Revisited. This book is a second edition and is basically building on top of what Ivan Van Sertima did in Day Came Before Columbus. It's showing you and telling you that the original people here in the Americas were dark-skinned, very dark melanated people. And it goes through, it's an archaeological and historical book. So it's giving you multiple points of references to show you the evidence as to why and how long we've been here in the Americas. People like the Folsom. Anytime you drive in Folsom, California, Folsom, Arizona, anytime you hear Folsom was a tribe of African black people that were here 50,000 years ago. Then these bones.
Ain't that ironic? Around. They got the prison in Folsom.
Exactly. Then you got anytime you the original Mojave, the Mojave Indians, they're here in California. Right. Queen California being named after a Moorish god, Queen Khalifa. The warrior goddess. This book talks about it even shows pictures like. He spent a lot of money. Like this is a picture of in a museum of like an Aztec, one of the original Aztec paintings, and like an original painting from like 2,000 years ago. And you see how dark these people are.
Right.
It goes in and talking about it has pictures in his book. He goes in talking about I was about to talk about the Twa, the people that they called the pygmies, and it goes in talking about how they were the original mound builders, and the people that we call the Apache that came later, they say when they came to this land, the mounds were already here, and they were built by these little short motherfuckers right here. And if we go to Stone Mountain, Georgia, that was originally a mound, and that the carving that's on there carved over old ancient texts that these people chiseled into Stone Mountain.
Is that right?
When you go to St. Louis, those mounds in St. Louis, these are all African and American buildings. I mean, things that were constructed by these people. And it goes in and gives you physical evidence, linguistic evidence, and all these different points of evidence to show you, like, man, this isn't just somebody running and talking shit, Yeah,
let me tell you what I don't like, man. I don't like how these little DNA tests are coming back for African Americans, and ain't nobody got no Indian in them.
Nobody.
Right? They want to say Congo. They want to say this and that. They got a white element, which is, they'll say Irish, Neanderthal, whatever. Then they got Congo or whatever. Nobody got Indian in them out of all these people. And the thing is, it might look like the Congo because the Congo people came over here.
Yeah, they were kicking it. Like, it's archaeological evidence of Ramses II during the 18th dynasty going up the Mississippi River for a vacation. You know what I mean? This we've come over here multiple ways. We were already here. Even when you look at Jamestown in 1619, when the first Anglo slave trade happened in 1619, you already had black people who were here. You had Gullah Geechee who've been here for thousands of years. And then you have people who came who were brought over by the Spanish in 1526, kicked their asses and went up into the mountains and amalgamated with the people.
I went to the Gullah Island, man.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's called the Fusky Island.
They look like James Brown, don't they?
Man, it's a trip, bro.
And then, the Gullah Geechee people, man, we got the Algonquin, we got the Seneca. Do you know that, and it talks about in this book too, New York Times Square. They used to be called Seneca Village, but really what it was Senegal Village. And Senegal, because these were the people who were from the Senegalese region of Africa who were already here before the Europeans got there. And it was a whole town. And they said in the 1800s, they say, you know what? We don't want you niggas living here, so we gonna kick y'all out and make a big ass park, Central Park. Look it up, and all that stuff is in here. And it's like we're so misinformed. So moving forward, the reason why I like these books, like I'm glad you had this topic, is because we've gotten conditioned to go into the internet for everything. Please understand this. The internet, the more days of the internet of everything being on the internet, that shit was done back in 2015, over with. They scrubbed the internet of real information. If you want real information, you still got to go back and buy the books. Fortunately for me, unfortunately for y'all, this book is now out of print. The 3rd edition is about to come out. But last I checked, this book is now worth like $3,500.
Oh, look, and I got a copy somewhere.
Information is money.
I got a copy somewhere.
I'm going to start buying 2 books. Like when the 3rd edition of this come out, I'm buying 2 of them.
Oh, good.
Because anytime the publishers say this.
That's like art and shit.
And and you got all this valuable information.
The
money
is
goes
enterprising,
up.
Man. Shit.
Information is money, man.
Man, all right, that's a good one, man. That's a good call right there. All right.
Oh, it's by Dr. David Imhotep. I didn't say the name. By Dr. David Imhotep. That's who it's by. Funny thing about it, real quick.
Go for it.
He was Mike Tyson's. I'm not Mike Tyson. He was Muhammad Ali's nutritionist for his last few fights.
Oh, really?
David Imhotep. Then he went back to school and he got the first PhD in African studies in the world. He's the only person that holds a PhD in African studies. Really? That's the person who wrote this book.
Wow. No, he did his homework.
The only person on earth with that PhD.
No, he did his homework.
Yep.
All right. My next book, man, that really changed my life and gave me supreme understanding is this book right here called Seize the Time, baby. Story of the Black Panther Party and Huey P. Newton. Written by founding member Mr. Bobby Seale. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. Let me tell you why this book was important to me, man. This really gave me an understanding about how our people suffered and organized and were disorganized by an outside force. Mm-hmm. When I was young, man, I heard good things about the Black Panther Party from people. You know, my father, people in the community, just people I know, black people, right? Yeah. But when you see on TV about the Black Panther Party, it's always problems or negative. Yeah, it's like they, were the plague. And so people got to understand that
they were the plague.
The Black Panther Party was the best thing for black people. If it could have spread around the whole country, it would have been great. They were tutoring kids. Not just tutoring, but teaching them. Mm-hmm. They had school. They had breakfast, lunch, dinner. Mm-hmm. They had classes for parenting. Mm-hmm. They had... and
the school lunch program comes from them.
Yeah, the school lunch program that we know of today...
That comes from the Black Panthers.
From their efforts, how they started it up and organized it, and they kept it going. So many things about the empowerment of our people, telling our people about the law, telling us about our rights, being proud of who you are, being proud of your skin color and your skin tone and your hair, your heritage, the way you speak, the way you talk, being smart, being sharp, being presentable. All those things, man, were important to the Black Panther Party because they were basically coming together to finally give us some good organization as a people, and it wasn't tied to a religion. It wasn't tied to anything like that, man. So this book, Seize the Time, really gave me a good understanding of the shit they did in the Black Panther Party. The other thing you must know is that the Black Panther Party was the number one target for the FBI. Number one target. They literally created a program called the COINTELPRO program, the counterintelligence program, designed to break apart the Black Panther Party so that they didn't have to expose some of the other things that were going on with J. Edgar Hoover and politicians, the mob, so on and so forth, even down to like sexuality stuff. It was crazy, the stuff he was hiding and how he targeted us and turned the whole country against the Black Panther Party for their own goods. Mm-hmm. So this gave me all the exposure I needed to understand the possibilities of the things that an establishment can do to you. Beyond what's in this book, it gave me the understanding that says, oh, if you can do this, then you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy with the FBI because there's a common theme between them, that book, Malcolm X. Because even in Malcolm X, and some things he was saying there about Elijah Muhammad at the time, that, he's thinking he's getting correspondence directly from the Nation of Islam. Literally, that was the FBI sending correspondence to Malcolm X on behalf of the Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. And then vice versa, sending correspondence to the Nation of Islam on behalf of Malcolm X. Both sides think that they're talking to each other, but it's them in the middle, and then that's what caused that split down, Mm-hmm. And you see how powerful we are as a people. Yeah,
same thing with the Panthers, man. They send dudes with berets, with a black beret and some shades and a leather jacket, and have them go and snatch a lady purse, and it's an agent, mm-hmm. or go in and attack a police officer. And they do these things so that they can victimize them, bro. It was a tactic. It was legal.
And it's the thing. When I read these kind of books, I always be like, look, what makes us think anything about them change? Like, what incentive have they had to change? When we see a lot of these things going out on the street today, my first thought is, okay, is there a larger hand at play? I always think that, not because I'm some conspiracy theorist. No, because they've already told me what they do. So I'm thinking like, man, is that happening now? In every case, it isn't, but it's a question that begs to be asked.
Right.
Especially when it comes to a lot of discontent and discord within the people are like, black folks always fighting. Well, black people got some outside hands at play too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it comes to a lot of this shit that's going on in the world, every time you look at like the hip hop industry, and you look back and you listen to what happened with Death Row. It was always somebody in somebody's ear. Who was that somebody in your ear?
I know.
Gassing you up. Let's take a look at this person.
Right.
We know about the hip hop cops. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and you got to look at where they all ended up, man. They all ended up in jail, man.
Yeah.
They're dead. They ended up in prison or dead, man.
Yep.
And one thing that's under-publicized is the city where the most Black Panther killings happened at the hands of the police was Los Angeles.
UCLA, Bunchy Carter got killed in 1969 on campus.
Man. Now, Bunchy Carter was a special guy, which they also talk about that incident in this book, because he was the link to like the streets side of Los Angeles.
It's crazy because it's funny how you said it, because in LA, what happened with the Panthers, and I've heard Judge Joe Brown break this down. They was getting cats from the Slossons and from the streets.
That's what I'm saying.
And,
that was all Bunchy.
And putting them in UCLA. Mm-hmm. That was, you think you think them white folks scared of your ass at Venice Beach. Mm-hmm. Imagine seeing one of the Slossons at Royce Hall.
Right. Yep.
Oh my God.
It was crazy, man. So anyway, that's a great book, you guys, man. Check that one out, man. What's your next one?
And it's funny, I'm glad because there's a common theme here. A book that I bought called Killers of the Flower Moon. Have you heard of this?
Nah, man, that's some new to me.
This talks about how the FBI got its start.
Oh.
And it's talking about the Osage murders in the beginning of the FBI. And this goes into all these people that when they be like a lot of y'all, and they be like, why do black people always talk about race and don't get with people outside your race? No, love who you love. I'm sorry by saying that. I ain't got no judgment against that. But you got to understand that there have been historical things done in these situations when we sleep with the people who've taken the land from us. Mm-hmm. This is about the Osage murders over in Osage in Oklahoma there is the Osage natives were given this tribal land and a huge area of Oklahoma they were given. And then so they found out one day that there was oil under all that land.
Funny how you say that. They were given
they were given because they were given reservation, pushed.
Yeah, but they were given.
Yeah, black people didn't get shit. But they were given reservation land.
They were given land that was already theirs, though. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
that's what I'm.
They had kind of marched off. These people, their land was like further down in Texas.
True,
they marched them off that shit.
Yeah, but you want to put a boundary on it, but the land is theirs.
It's theirs, yeah.
And then now that we're divvying it up to you.
Yeah, and they said, okay, yeah, you can have this all this shit used to be yours,
right?
But now you can go over there.
Yeah, there you go.
And they did that to them, and then they realized there was oil on that land. So then white folks like, shit, we gave that land to them Indians and they got all that goddamn oil.
Man.
We can't take it from them because of the treaty that we signed, because they had been taking too many treaties, going back on too many, so you can't get the international press on you like that. So J. Edgar Hoover, old slick ass, before he made the FBI, came up with a plan, and what happened was a whole bunch of white men started marrying into this tribe, and within 20 years, every woman in that tribe ended up dead.
Dead.
And the kids, the ones that had that native blood, get the fuck out of here. And now I'm gonna bring my white kids from my next marriage, and they're gonna be the ones that we pass this land down to. So yeah, and that's how the FBI got formed. They basically said, we want that land back. So let's get all these white men to marry into that tribe, kill these women off, and take their land.
Damn.
That's how the United States thinks, and that's how they treat people.
Damn.
So this is just another contextual book. I think just for me, what this book meant, what this did for me was it basically highlighted that we talk. They get on us black people first generally, but they spread their hate to everybody. So while other races be sitting around the side looking like, okay, it's the Negroes over there, we just the beta test. It's coming to your ass too. Mm-hmm. So it's just, people need to read stuff like this and just be aware of how things get down here. Because if we get reparations, black people, there. If we get reparations and Todd starts knocking on the door, think of this book.
Dun, 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 dun.
Boom.
All right, man. This next book for me, this one literally changed my life. It's called Ageless Body, Timeless Mind by Deepak Chopra. But this book right here talks about, you guys, it says, I'll say it again, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind. What he talks about is the idea that everything in your body is controlled by your mind, and it's the subconscious part of your mind. So all of your thoughts, everything you think is interpreted by your subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. And then your subconscious mind goes into action and makes things so. Mm-hmm. So if you're a negative person, man, all it's going to do is look for negative energy out there for you.
You create your reality.
You create your reality. If you're happy, it's going to bring happy energy around you. Mm-hmm. If you're loving, it works for everything. Also, what he talks about is how you can basically recreate your body. Mm-hmm. Every 45 days, you can recreate your body. Because at all times, cells are being created and cells are dying in your body. That's what they do. They die, cells die in your body. So he says, when the new ones create, you got to give it different energy, and that new energy comes to your body. And with intention, which means this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I plan, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing. Intention really tells your body how to design your body again. So he talks about getting rid of illnesses. He talks about getting rid of pain. Talks about depression, all these things that you can get rid of just by managing your own body and just by saying to yourself that, look, I'm not creating any more of those cells right there. And so it's pretty deep stuff right here, man. This dude is pretty deep, and he looks super young, and he's old as shit. And
he took his college picture on that.
I know, huh? But this is an old book, though. This is from the
And that's true, though, because, like, talk about creating your reality. You ever notice there's always these people going around talking about some, man, everywhere I go, man, people just be hating, man. I don't care what I do, man. People be hating. Yeah. Look, that's the hater in your mind projecting your shit onto the world around you.
Yes.
That's basically what that book is breaking down, because if you feel hate in your heart and you hating on yourself, you're going to attract hate. That's all you're going to see is hate. 10,000 people can look at you and be like, hey, how you doing there, buddy? And you're going to be like, man, what the fuck they looking at? Because that's where your mind already is.
Right.
It's going to attract. Even when people, and their intent is to be nice to you.
Right.
But you so hater-fied and haterific and looking for haters in your mind, you won't even see it.
Man, energy is real, bro. And what you put out is what you're going to latch on to, man.
This book talks that right there. Mm-hmm. This book is, they go hand in hand. It's talking about that. You know what I mean? Because it's talking about how, we go through life and we have these things, these great things happen, and then we still worry.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's one of my biggest things, worry. I mean, like, that's something that that's been a life path thing
that you're working on
to get past. Mm-hmm. Like, I know I'll be good all the time, but I'll create some shit like, man, what if this can go wrong? What if that can go wrong?
Right.
And you create all these things of worry, and 99% of the time those things don't happen. But the few times they did happen, all that worrying didn't help me deal with the brunt of the issue once it came to me.
Yeah, and the issue really wasn't that big of a deal, right, when it came.
Man.
I'm trying to tell you, man, you can bring these thoughts to you. And look, this shit works for whatever's in your life. Like I said, love, getting attention, employment, money. Like, if you don't have a job, bro, and you don't think you can never get one, you ain't never gonna get one.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna what this book talks about is your subconscious mind doesn't judge you.
Yep.
It doesn't judge you. It doesn't step in and say, no, you're gonna get a job. Nope. No. If you say I'm not getting a job, it's gonna it's gonna stop working on that mission for you and start working on some of these other missions you have, like hating people and being mean to others and looking for drama and wanting problems and shit and avoiding truth and looking for pain and deceit and all those things. When you have those kinds of thoughts, man, that energy gets brought to you.
Yep.
Man. Sure, man. You can't avoid it.
You can't avoid it. You attract. We are masters of our universe.
Man, can't avoid it.
We are the God of our universe, and we have a lot of responsibilities, and it's something that we need to take advantage of. And but most of it, we don't even know. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, they definitely don't teach you shit in school. So that's why I thank you, Mike, for bringing this subject up, because you got to bring these books out.
Right.
Because the information's out there. You just got to know where to find it.
It is out there. Mm-hmm. You say you got one more?
I got one more real quick. This is just a book. It's just the most recent book that I read, and it was very interesting because it was written. This book was written like in the year 890 A.D. in what's now Baghdad.
Oh, okay.
During the time of the Ottoman Empire.
And let me think about that. 890 A.D. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're talking about, this is before the last night. This is before the Bible was all the way completed, because there was still one more Nicene convention.
So like
Islam
1100 years ago, basically.
Yeah. And basically, it was a dude whose dad, his dad was African. And I found out about this book from Professor James Small, same person I was telling y'all about, that I was talking about Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. I was listening to him speak on this Malcolm X, and he talked about this book. And it's basically, he travels through Africa, and he's detailing the glory of the black race, of the black people down there. It's talking about how great these people are. Talking about how their humanity. And it's breaking down, you see how back then, how the world was different. It's like basically talking about the white race is basically a few Persians and a few people over in Europe, but black people are in China, India, and all the other places that they tell you that we didn't exist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It goes in talking about our humanity as a people. You know what I mean? It goes in talking about how.
And is it written? I guess it would have to be written based on the time, right?
It's basically it was during the time, because during this time, this is when the Arab slave trade is just getting started. People don't know that the European slave trade came way after the Arabs already had decimated most of Africa. You know, it's not like these big bad Europeans came and started some shit. No, the Arabs started this shit in the late 800s, and it goes in. And this is during this time, and it's talking about how like they were going down into Zimbabwe in that area, enslaving these Africans who were really nice people, basically using their humanity against them to get them on these ships and sending them up to Baghdad. You know, it goes in talking about the Zanj Rebellion and how these Africans rose up in Baghdad and knocked them people off and then took over parts of what's now Kuwait. It goes in and talking about all these different things that was going on. It's talking about the African presence in Spain, you know, how the Moors went and basically cleaned up Europe because Europe wasn't shit. And these Moors came into Europe and brought raised sidewalk, math, rubbing alcohol, soap.
Yeah, shit like
architecture. Go ahead.
Shit like civilization, bro.
Civilization.
You know what I mean? Spices.
Yeah, spices.
All type of stuff. You know, when I went to Rome, dude, it was nice, man. It was beautiful. I had a great time. It was lovely, right? Went to all the monuments and everything. Then I got in this cab going to where the clubs were, and he went through this area, man. It was black people, bro.
Yeah.
And it was hidden from me all day long or all week. I'm like, wait, what's this? I'm talking about not some dudes that look like, look like Jerome or something, but they was clearly of that race, but the black version, bro.
People don't understand. Before Rome, who existed in that land before Rome? Look this up. It's a people called the Etruscans. That was Etruscan civilization. And the Etruscans was these wide, show-enough-nose looking niggas.
Oh, yes.
That the Romans came in. People understand, the Romans, they out of skin. They were these were like lighter-skinned black people.
Right.
These weren't like the Anglo-Saxons that you see. The Anglo-Saxons were on the outer skirts of Rome.
Yeah.
In Italy was dark people. But one thing I wanted to point out in this book, when it goes into ancient definitions, when people always talk about the N-word, how, man, the white folks, that's a word that they called us. In a book written 1,100 years ago, it goes in talking about niggas, another word for Ethiopian ruler, king. And this was something that was written long before the European had his own written language.
Right.
We was calling ourselves this in a positive way. So black people, sometimes we're not as crazy as we are. Some sounds are just familiar to us, and they go really back in our DNA, and it's much deeper than this last 400-year Holocaust we've been going through. That's all I want to say about that.
All right, you guys. Well, look, man, I hope I did some justice with you guys during this nice little Black History Month. Again, we talked about the wheel. We talked about irrigation. We talked about Lewis Latimer bringing you light. We talked about fire. We talked about Harriet Tubman. And today we went through our books. So do the knowledge out there, party people.
Yeah.
Do the knowledge, man. Dwann Brown, where can they find ya?
At Dwann B, DWANNB. That's the website. That's the Instagram. That's the Twitter.
All right,
and
man.
Hotepish, Facebook.
Oh, man, I like that organization you got there. All right, man, follow me at King Mike Boogie, man. We out of here, man. See y'all next week, all right?
Sir.
Bye.
That's all niggas do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little bars. That's all niggas do. So the next 8 little bars are for you. 8 little bars. That's all niggas do.